I hope everyone's ready for a very large Dark Academia book haul because I think I have about 20 books that are in a dark academia setting. So some of the popular ones, some of the non-popular ones, they're highly popular ones. I've hauled them already in the past, so please let me know if you guys want to see my full dark academia collection because it's quite a lot. I think I have maybe like 70 books more, maybe 100 at this point after this haul, so let me know. I have dark academia books kind of scattered everywhere as well because I've read some are in different piles for upcoming reading vlogs, but needless to say, I'm obsessed with dark academia, and some of you already know I'm working on 2 separate dark academia novels. Next year for the fall season or NaNoWriMo, I'm going to be writing a dark academia, normal academic setting, but a lot of murder and mystery in there, and it's a really big high concept novel that I have in my head, so it's gonna take me like about a year to continue plotting it. So yes, that's gonna be a really hefty book, and hopefully people will still love dark academia by then, because I'm possibly self-publishing these books. So stay tuned and make sure to follow my writing vlog, writing TikTok, and any other place you can reach me as I embark in these dark academia reading vlogs and writing vlogs in the future. So anyways, enough rambling. I hope you enjoy. I hope you like my little ghost mug that I got last year. I feel like it's bleeding from the eyeballs because I've been drinking from it, so yes. Hello readers, welcome back to Sandra Is Book, where we talk all things book and bookish related. So as I mentioned, this video today is my dark academia book haul, so I hope you enjoy. I hope you love dark academia as much as me and all the other dark academia fanatics out there. So let's get right into the haul. So the first book we have here is one of the most exciting ones because it is a new release that everyone's been anticipating, and I'm sure most of you will guess what it is. But it is, drum roll please, I pre-ordered this as soon as I heard of it. Like, I pre-ordered this months ago. So it is, yes, it is Babel by R.F. Kuang, and it's basically a dark academia about like translation, and it's anti-colonial as the main character realizes as he's translating he's actually erasing part of his own heritage. So I'm gonna just read you briefly the synopsis. I'm not gonna go to the synopsis of all of these books because that would be too many books, but this one I definitely want to share with you because it's a highly anticipated book because it also critiques the academic setting, and that's what was missing in dark academia lately. So yes, let me just read this quickly to you. 1828, Robin Swift, orphaned by cholera in Canton, is brought to London by the mysterious Professor Lovell. There, Robin trains for years in Latin, Ancient Greek, and Chinese, all in preparation for the day he'll enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel. The tower and its student are the world's center for translation and, more importantly, magic. Silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning lost in translation using enchanted silver bars, has made the British unparalleled in power as the arcane craft serves the empire's quest for colonization. For Robin, Oxford is a utopia dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. But knowledge obeys power, and as a Chinese boy raised in Britain, he realizes serving Babel means betraying his motherland. As his studies progress, Robin finds himself caught between Babel and the shadowy Hermes Society, an organization dedicated to stopping imperial expansion. When Britain pursues an unjust war with China over silver and opium, Robin must decide. So yes, this is really interesting because I think part of it might even have to do with real history, especially when I read the part about Britain being in war against China on opium. So yes, I can't wait to read this. It's a hefty book, but I have about a month to read this because funnily enough, R.F. Kuang is coming here in Canada, in Toronto, and I think she's gonna be at Indigo's Bloor and Young on October 22nd or 23rd, and so I really want to meet her, and I would really love her to sign my copy and talk to her and see her. So yes, I can't wait to read this and to see her and meet her, and obviously I'm gonna film a reading vlog. Now we're on to the next book. We have A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. This book has been around now, but it says here that it's a girl going to Dalloway School, and then it's a ivy-covered campus school as usual, and then there's a group of students and some mysterious things are happening. And I think this one is also to do with the occult, so to do with witches. So I have not seen many Dark Academia witches book before, so I can't wait to get this one. I was waiting for the paperback to release because it's just so beautiful, and I'm really excited to read this. So this next one is kind of a religious Dark Academia. This is The Orchid by David Hoppin. Here I'm gonna just read briefly a little part of the blurb. It says here, Ari finds himself entangled in the school's most exclusive and wayward group. These friends are magnetic and defiant, especially Evan, the brooding genius of the bunch, still living in the shadow of his mother's death. Influenced by their charismatic rabbi, the group begins testing their religion in unconventional ways. Soon, Ari and his friends are pushing moral boundaries and careening toward a perilous future, one in which the traditions of their faith are repurposed to mysterious and tragic ends. So yes, I've never seen it been done like this, so I can't wait to see what this book entails. It's giving me If We Were Villains vibe a little bit, so I don't know what to think, but I hope it's good. I have not heard many people talk about this one, but I have seen it recommended when I was searching up more Dark Academia books to read. Then I have another book that's set at Oxford University. There's a lot of Dark Academia set at Oxford University. So this one says 1 game, 6 students, 5 survivors. So 1 person dies. It reminds a lot of The Secret History. And yes, so it says here it actually even promotes it as a secret history, so yes. So yeah, pretty sure someone dies and we figure out who did done it and why did done it. So pretty stereotypical Dark Academia, especially if we're looking at The Secret History as like one of the pillars or founding fathers, or I would say mothers at this point because Donna Tartt is a woman, of Dark Academia. Now we have female Dark Academia, so it's called The Divines by Illy Eaton. I'm just gonna read a little passage here that resumes the entirety of the book. It says, moving between present-day Los Angeles and 1990s Britain, The Divines is a scorching examination of the power of adolescent sexuality, female identity, and the destructive class divide, exposing the tension between the lives we lead as adults and the experiences that form us. It forces us to consider an unsettling question: can we ever really escape our past? So yes, I like that it's like dealing with girls, and it says here, the girls of St. John the Divine, an elite English boarding school, were notorious for flipping their hair, harassing teachers, chasing boys, and chain smoking cigarettes. They were fiercely loyal, sharp-tongued, and cuttingly humorous in the way that only teenage girls can be. So I really like that this one is really focusing on teenage girls in Dark Academia, and it's because we have a lot of main characters in Dark Academia that are mostly male-centric and male protagonists, so this one will be refreshing to read. And I love the cover, it's so cute and stunning. I don't really like pink, but sometimes I see pink like this that's really done well that makes me really love pink. So and then we have these Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is basically, I don't think it's Dark Academia, but it's always marketed as part of like Dark Academia feels. So it's basically Romeo and Juliet retelling, but in Shanghai. And this, yeah, everyone knows about this book. Chloe Gong went viral pretty much for this book and on TikTok. So let's just say that yes, the characters are actually Juliet and Roma, and I think the two must band together against their common enemy. So I can't wait to read this. Apparently the sequel is coming soon, so yes, and it has to do with monsters, and it seemed like it takes the retelling and turns it on its head, and it seems like a lot of people really love this one. So it's not Dark Academia, but it does have the vibes. Then we have Ace of Spades, and it's by Farida Abike Iyeminde. I think I said that correctly. It really seems like performing arts school because of this little signal here, the mask. But let's read the actual blurb because I'm not too sure what this one's about. So here it says, When two Nivea's private academy students, Devon Richard and Chiamaka Adebayo, are selected to be part of the elite school's senior prefect, it looks like their year is off to an amazing start. After all, not only does it look great on a college applications, but it all officially puts them in the running for valedictorian too. Shortly after the announcement is made, though, someone who goes by Aces begins sending anonymous text messages to reveal secrets about the two of them that turn their lives upside down and threatens every aspect of their carefully planned futures. As Aces shows no sign of stopping, what seemed like a sick prank quickly turns into a dangerous game with all the cards stacked against them. Can Devon and Chiamaka stop Aces before things become incredibly deadly? With heart-pounding suspense and relevant social commentary comes a high-octane thriller. So yes, and it's a debut novel, so I can't wait. I feel like we're gonna have some diverse cast of characters in this one, so that's always exciting. And yes, and I always like Dark Academia with more social commentary. Then we have Ghosts of Harvard Square by Francesca Ciritella. I think this book is a bit of an older book. It's been around for a bit, and again, it's set in Harvard, and here it says Candace Archer arrives on Harvard's campus desperate to understand why her brother Eric, a genius who developed paranoid schizophrenia, took his own life there the year before. While her decision to follow in her brother's footsteps threatens to break her family apart, she is haunted by questions of what she might have missed, and there's only one place to find the answers. Ooh, okay, alright, so, okay, this is really definitely following the theme of Dark Academia, murder, what happened, why it happened, and set in an academic setting. So can't wait to read this one as well. I might just like make a reading vlog of Dark Academia that's like strictly set in Oxford, because at this point we have like 3 in this pile, and I'm pretty sure I have more somewhere sitting on my shelf. Then we have Romantic Outlaws, and it's The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley by Charlotte Gordon, and it's basically a big comprehensive biography of both women, mother and daughter, and how their lives were groundbreaking for women to come, and for literature and activism and etc. So yes, I can't wait to read this. The reason why I'm putting this in here is because I feel like Mary Shelley and her work is very reminiscent of Dark Academia, and the pursuit of knowledge and the pursuit of what we don't know, what we should know, and what we do know. So I think like Mary Shelley is a really big one for me when it comes to Dark Academia, and I really am excited to learn more and read more. Then I have The Chocolate Money by Ashley Prentice Norton, and the reason why I got this is that it was doing its round on Book Talk at some point, and it says here it's set in 1980s Chicago and on the East Coast, and it chronicles the relationship between an impossibly rich chocolate heiress, Babs Valentine, and her sensitive and bookish young daughter, Bettina. Babs, played by No One's Rules, naked Christmas cards, lavish theme parties with lewd installation at her Lakeshore Drive penthouse, nocturnal visits from her married lover who admires her centerfold as his wife is asleep at home. Bettina, though, wants nothing more than to win her mother's affection and approval, both of which prove elusive. When she escapes to an elite New Hampshire prep school, Bettina finds that her unorthodox upbringing makes it difficult to fit in with her peers, one of whom happens to be the son of Babs' lover. As she struggles to forge an identity apart from her mother, Bettina walks a fine line between self-preservation and self-destruction. So it is set at a prep school, so I guess that's where the dark academic vibes do come from. And I heard this one is like for Lana Del Rey lovers, so obviously I've been called to this book. Then we have Kill Your Darlings by David Bell. It's obviously not the movie that everyone is thinking of. It's been published recently, this book, so it has nothing to do with the movie. However, it's giving me vibes of the book The Plot, which I've read a few vlogs ago. I'll put the image here and I'll link it down below. And it says here, after years of struggling to write following the deaths of his wife and son, English professor Connor Nye publishes his first novel, a thriller about the murder of a young woman. There's just one problem. Connor didn't write the book. his missing student did, and then she appears at his doorstep alive and well, threatening to expose him. So this is really cool. I love dark academia that has to do with writers and writers stealing story ideas and books, whole novels. So if you like this, how this sounds, like I do, and I want to read this, please read the plot, because the plot was really like insane and I really enjoyed that one. So it's like this would probably be like the sister book to that book. So yes. Then we have The Ivies by Alexa Dunn. Alexa Dunn is a YouTuber, writer, etc., and I follow some of her writing advice. And so here it says, they'd kill to get in, and Olivia always knew the Ivies were rootless, not Ivy League universities, the Ivies, 5 Cloughan Academy girls who will stop at nothing to get into the college of their dreams. Olivia should know she's one of them. In this elite clique, ambition reigns. Busting curves, scamming club elections, even a little sabotage are all part of the game. But when one of the Ivies is found dead hours after getting into Harvard, Olivia begins to question how far her friends are willing to go. And with a killer on the loose, will Olivia's own acceptance letter become her death sentence? Alexa Dunn delivers a nail-biting and timely thriller about teens who would kill to get into the Ivy League. Literally. So cool. I love this. I like the premise of this, so can't wait to read it. Then we have an Irish dark academia. We have The Temple House Vanishing by Rachel Donahue, and it says here, Louisa is the new scholarship student at Temple House, a drafty and imposing cliffside boarding school full of girls as chilly as the mansion itself. There is one other outsider, an intense and compelling student provocateur named Victoria, and the two girls form a fierce bond, but their friendship is soon unsettled by a young art teacher, Mr. Lavelle, whose charismatic presence ignites tension and obsession in the cloistered world of the school. Then, one day, Louisa and Mr. Lavelle vanish without a trace, never to be found. Now, on the 25th anniversary of the disappearance, one journalist, a woman who grew up on the same street as Louisa, delves into the past, determined to uncover the truth. She finds stories of jealousy and revenge, power and class. But might she find Louisa and Mr. Lavelle too? Wow, this sounds so good. Is she gonna find them? Yeah, interesting. Then we have Melmoth by Sarah Perry, and let me just read you quickly the blurb. I was saying that I was not gonna read through blurbs, but some of these books seem so cool that like I feel like it would be a disservice not to read the blurbs and get you guys as excited as I am. So let's just go quickly. It says, it has been years since Helen Franklin left England. In Prague, working as a translator, she has found a home of sorts, or at least unpronounced sanctuary. That changes when her friend Carol discovers a mysterious letter in the library, a strange confession, and a curious warning that speaks of Melmoth the Witness, a dark legend found in obscure fairy tales and antique village lore. As such superstition has it, Melmoth hunts her prey through the ages, dooming those she captures to the damnation of timeless, itinerant solitude. To Helen, it all seems the stuff of unenlightened fantasy. But unaware, as Helen wanders this cobblestone street, she is being watched, and then Carol disappears. So this is like not really dark academia, but it does have the dark academia mystery vibes to it. Then we have An Instance of the Finger Post by Ian Pearce, and oh my god, this book is like ginormous, like 650 pages. Super floppy though, we love flop. And at least like my writing is not bad. But yes, let's read this, okay? I think this is again one of the older dark academia books, and it says, it is 1663 and England is racked with intrigue and civil strife. When an Oxford Don is murdered, it seems at first that the incident can have nothing to do with the great matters of church and state. Who poured the arsenic into the victim's brandy? The evidence points to Sarah Blundy, a servant girl. She confesses to the crime and is sentenced to be hanged. Each of the four narrators, a Venetian medical student, a young man intent on proving his late father innocent of treason, a cryptographer, and an archivist, fingers a different culprit, an erudite and entertaining tour de force. So I like this one. I like that it has a little bit of history in there, and it's set like in 1663. So yes, Oxford in its origins. So can't wait to read this. I probably am going to do that Oxford Dark Academia reading vlog at this point, because we're at 4 books now. Then we have The Prime of Miss Jen Brodie by Muriel Sparks. Really short. Didn't know this book was that short. It says, at the Stade Marcia Blaine School for Girls, teacher extraordinaire Miss John Brody is unmistakably and outspokenly in her prime. She's passionate in the application of her unorthodox teaching methods, in her attraction to the married art master Teddy Lloyd, in her affair with the bachelor music master Gordon Lawler, and most important, in her dedication to her girls. I like that this one is set in Scotland, and I like how short it is. So definitely this is bumped on up top of my list because too many like big books in this haul right now, so I want to read something short and sweet and impactful. Then we have Stranger Diaries by Illett Griffith, and it says here, Claire Cassidy, a high school teacher specializing in the gothic writer R.M. Holland, is no stranger to murder. But when one of Claire's colleagues is found dead, with a line from Holland's iconic story The Stranger Left by Her Body, Claire is horrified to see her life collide with her favorite literature. The police suspect that the killer is someone Claire knows. Unsure whom to trust, she turns to her diary, her only outlet for her suspicion and fears. Then one day she notices something odd, writing that isn't hers, left on the page of an old diary. Hello Claire, you don't know me. Claire becomes more certain than ever. The stranger has come to terrifying life. But can the ending be rewritten this time? Ooh, I like this. I like the twist. That's cool. Like, it's like coming to life, one of her favorite gothic novels. So I think it's kind of dark academia because it's like she's a school teacher, so we'll see where it goes, but I like this. This is original. Then we have Conversion by Catherine Howe. This book had took booktube by storm years ago when it first came out, 2014 probably, or 2016. Anyways, here it says, senior year is a pressure cooker. Everyone is expected to keep it together until they can't. No one knows how it started or when. No one knows what to blame or who. Apparently this is a very creepy novel. It's giving me some witchy vibe, but I can't contest to that by that description. But it just says, what is really happening to the girls at St. John's? So yeah, definitely dark academia, but don't know what's happening. But I think that's part of the mystery, and something is being converted. Maybe it is, maybe it has religious undertone like the other book that I showed in this haul. But I love the yellow in this gray cover. I think yellow and gray are such a great combo together. But yeah, that's enough with color schemes. Then we have How We Fall Apart by Katie Zhao, and again, it's another high school dark academia, I believe. Lesson number 1, Sinclair prep students, betrayal would haunt you from the grave. So is 5 students here, and then one of them killed one of the student, and then the other ones are being haunted. Sounding a lot like I Know What You Did Last Summer, but we'll see. And I think the characters are from Asian background, so that's always cool, or maybe even mixed background I see here by the names. So yes, I can't wait to read this. We need more diverse dark academia, and I think it's starting now to hit. And in case anyone was wondering, all these books, I got them off Book Outlet. Only the few books that were in the individual packs came from Chapters Indigo. So I will leave a $5 discount on your first Book Outlet box down below, and I will also leave links to all these books as I usually do. So let's just continue on. We're almost at the last stretch. I think I was right. I think we had like 20 books in this haul, but I'll count them at the end, or I'll count them after this video is done. So anyways, we have They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. I don't know, I can't read, but anyways. Gold Coast, Long Island. Everything from the expensive downtown shops to the manicured beaches to the pressed uniform of Jill Newman and her friends looks perfect. But as Jill found out 3 years ago, nothing is as it seems. Freshman year, Jill's best friend, the brilliant dazzling Shyla Arnold, has been killed by her boyfriend. After that dark night on the beach, Graham confessed, the case was closed, and Jill tried to move on. Now it's Jill's senior year, and she's determined to make it her best. After all, she's senior and a player, a member of Gold Coast Prep's exclusive not-so-secret history. Nice. Senior players have the best parties, the highest grades, and the admiration of the entire school. This is going to be Jill's year. She's sure of it. But when Jill starts getting texts proclaiming Graham's innocence, her dreams of the perfect senior year start to crumble. If Graham didn't kill Shayla, who did? Jill vows to find out, but digging deeper means putting her friendships and her future in jeopardy. Whew. Ooh, okay. Another high school dark academia. I like it. I like it. I can't wait to read it. Oh, this one is the one that's getting an adaptation. It just hit me now. This one is getting adapted, so probably gonna have to boost this at the top of my list. I have 3 or 4 books that are dark academia YA in this haul, and I wonder if they're gonna be as intense or even more intense as the adult dark academia, but I think there still has to be some distinction maybe when it comes to like sexual matters, I believe. So we'll see about that, and maybe I'll make a YA dark academia review later on. Then we have Those Who Pray by Jennifer Moffett, and it says college life isn't what Emily expected. She expected to spend her freshman year strolling through the ivy-covered campus with her new friends, finally feeling like she belonged. Instead, she walks to the campus alone, still not having found her place and her people. But then the Kingdom finds her. The Kingdom, an exclusive on-campus group, offers everything Emily expected out of college and more. Acceptance, friends, a potential boyfriend, and a chance to spend the summer on a mission trip to Italy. But the trip is not what she thought it would be. Emily and the others are stripped of their passports and money. They're cut off from their families back home. The Kingdom's practices becomes increasingly manipulative and dangerous, and someone ends up dead. At times, unsettling and always riveting, Those Who Pray looks at the allure of cult life, questioning just how far we're willing to find where we belong. And it's set in Italy, possibly? Wow, cool. Can't wait. This cover is stunning. Look at that. Those Who Pray. I love that it's part of like dark academia / cult, because dark academia groups and secret societies are like cults, but inner cults, smaller cults. So really fascinating. Can't wait. And speaking of cults and club and dark academia, we have the Mary Shelley Club, and it says here, club rules. The Mary Shelley Club is a secret. Everyone gets one fear test that all members must help execute. You must perform the task assigned to you, no exceptions. You must pick your target before the test starts. That's your 8 ball. You may scare everyone else in the room, but if you don't sink your 8 ball, you failed the test. The game isn't over until everyone has their turn. A member of the club may never be a target. A fear test ends when your target screams. Okay, alright. I don't know what is happening here, but it sounds really cool. Then we have The Broken Girls by Simone St. James, and this one, it says it's set in Vermont. I always wanted to go to Vermont. I want to visit Vermont. Maybe next year, next fall, I would go. I don't know. Let's see what it says here. Vermont 1950 and then Vermont 2014. So again, we have the people growing up from the school, probably cult, whatever, and then they go back. So we have a few books like that, and there's a lot of books in the dark academia genre where people go back to explore and uncover like the real truth of what happened, kind of like if we were villains in some capacity. So yes, it says here, there's a place for the girls who no one wants, the troublemakers, the illegitimate, the too smart for their own good. It's called Idlewild Hall, and in the small town where it's located, there are rumors that the boarding school is haunted. 4 roommates bond over their whispered fears, their budding friendship blossoming, until one of them mysteriously disappears. Vermont 2014. As much as she's tried, journalist Fiona Sheridan cannot stop revisiting the events surrounding her elder sister's death. 20 years ago, her body was found dumped in the overgrown fields near the ruins of Idlewild Hall, and though her sister's boyfriend was tried and convicted of murder, Fiona can't shake the suspicion that something was never right about the case. When Fiona discovers that Idlewild Hall is being restored by an anonymous benefactor, she decides to write a story about it. But a shocking discovery during the renovations will link the loss of her sister to secrets that were meant to stay hidden in the past and a voice that won't be silenced. Ooh, I don't know if this is like actual, like, I don't know if it's gonna be mixed with some like kind of ghost story or if actually something is hidden on school grounds, but seems really cool. Then we have book 2 and 3 of the Magician series, and it's the Magician's Land and the Magician King. I can't speak anymore. I've been talking for like 3 hours. I've been filming videos non-stop, so I'm so sorry. It's been rough. I have a coffee, I have water, and I have tea here, but my voice is just leaving, my pronunciation is just going, and my tongue is just twisting. So yes, not to be poetic about it, but I'm losing it. I'm losing the plot. So it's by Lev Grossman. I have the first book, so when I was doing research on more dark academia book, this one came up, and I like this one because it has to do with magicians. Do I know what the story is about? No, but it's set at a school, and I don't want to read the blurbs of book 2 and 3 because I don't want to spoil it for myself, but I will see if I can find book 1 somewhere. Looking at my shelves right now, I don't know how I'm going to find book 1 in 3,500 books, but eventually I will find it. And anyways, I will link these down below so you guys can read yourself what book 1 is about, but I believe it is set in a dark academia setting. Let me just pull up Goodreads on my phone. Okay, I have Goodreads on my phone here. So it says here the first book of that series is Quentin, a senior in high school, is still secretly preoccupied with a series of fantasy novels he read as a child set in magical land called Fillory. Imagine his surprise when he finds himself unexpectedly admitted to a very secret, very exclusive college of magic in upstate New York, where he receives a thorough and rigorous education in the craft of modern sorcery. He also discovers all the other things people learn in college: friendship, love, sex, booze, and boredom. Something is missing though. Magic doesn't quite bring Quentin the happiness and adventure he dreamt it would. After graduation, he and his friends make a stunning discovery. Fillory is real, but the land of Quentin's fantasy turns out to be much darker and more dangerous than he could ever have imagined. His childhood dream becomes a nightmare with a shocking truth at its heart. So yeah, it actually sounds really good. Oh my god, it has 250,000 ratings. How? This book has been a hit apparently. A lot of good reviews I see here, so hopefully I will enjoy it. So this one has to do with magicians, like I said, and secret society, and apparently this world that he read about is real, so that's always cool. Maybe it will fill some of the void that Harry Potter has left me with over the years, hopefully. But finally we have books by Karen M McManus. So I think only the one book is a little bit more dark academia, and it's the one that has been adapted, and it's the One of Us is Lying. But actually I don't have One of Us is Lying. I have the sequel, which is One of Us is Next, and it's about like I think 4 or 5 teenagers that are kept in detention, and one of them dies, and then the others are either covering or they're, I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, there's an adaptation that's been made, and I want to read One of Us is Lying and then the sequel. But I have her 2 other books here, and I think these are standalones. We have You'll Be the Death of Me, and this one is about Type A Ivy lost a student council election to the class clown, and now she has to face the school humiliation. I can't say that word. Humiliated. What? Humiliated. You know what? This is my karma. I always laugh at my mom who can't say things because she's an immigrant and she's Persian, which is, I know it's very rude, but when it's your mom, you can do it. But instant karma. I can't say humiliate. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. That word that you use for embarrassment, but that's not embarrassment. Humiliated. There we go. I've been filming for 3 hours, okay? Give me some slack. Okay, so this is again Ivy school, Ivy kids, kind of like dark academia but not really. And then someone dead and everyone's hiding something, set in school. Okay, you know the drill. It's like elite kinda, I would say, but not really. I don't know. And we have the cousins, and this is definitely not set in an academia setting, but it has to do with cousins that have never met. It says here they barely know each other and they've never even met their grandmother, rich and reclusive. She disinherited their parents before they were born, so when they each receive a letter inviting them to work at her island resort for the summer, they're surprised and curious. Their parents are unwavering on the point not going is an option. This could be their chance to get back into grandmother's good graces, but when the cousin arrive on the island, it's immediately clear that she has different plans for them. And the longer they stay, the more they realize how mysterious and dark their family past is. So the entire story family has secrets. Whatever pulled them apart years ago isn't over, and this summer the cousins will learn everything if they can survive the season. So yeah, that is Karen M McManus, and I need to get One of Us is Lying, that's the book that I wanted to get, but I saw these ones for a good price and I grabbed them. They still have that dark academia vibes to them, especially the first two, One of Us is Next and You'll Be the Death of Me. I don't know, I'm not too sure about the cousins, but the cousins really remind me of If We Were Liars. Not that this matters, but yes. I actually forgot that I have one more book to open up, and let's see what it is. Whoop! And it fell. And it's the Love Letters of Virginia Woolf and Vida Sackville West, and it's a introduction by Alison Bechdel, which if you guys don't know, Alison Bechdel is a queer graphic novelist, memoirist. I can't wait to read this, and it's a vintage classic and it's all purple. Purple is my favorite color, and we love the queer love, and I really need to read about this Virginia Woolf and Vida love story connection. You know, I've seen so many TikToks about it, but I really want to explore more. And Virginia Woolf also gives me that kind of vibe of dark academia, just because it's like stream of consciousness. But I don't know, I feel like this is still pretty fitting for this haul, because a lot of dark academia themes come from Greek inspired myths and Greek inspired tradition and learning. And back in the Greek myth, we had Plato's Symposium, and there's a lot of homoerotic love, and you have Sappho as well, who, you know, a lot of lesbian love as well. I think this will be good on the modern classical front in the dark academia research and reading that I'll be doing in the future. I don't know about you guys, but I can't believe that we actually made it. And I am so tired. My throat is not the same. I don't think it's ever gonna be the same for the rest of the week, but it was worth it. I hope you enjoyed this dark academia inspired book haul. Let me know if you just discovered new dark academia books, because I know I have. Like, when I was researching, I found most of these books and I read the blurbs online, and I was like, okay, add if they were on book outlets. So, and yeah, I just splurged and bought a whole box of them. So if you think that any of these are more interesting than others, let me know. If you read any of these, which I'd be surprised for some of them, because some of them are like very old-ish dark academia. And if you want to see me read some of these books before the others, let me know as well, because the next few months, fall time, is going to be dark academia time. So yes, let me know, what is your favorite dark academia book? What are some dark academia books you have left to read or you really want to read? As always, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. All readers and non-readers are more than welcome on my channel. My goal here is to help inspire you to read more, or to help you find your next favorite book. If I can do one of them or both of them, I'd be more than happy and proud of this channel. So please let me know, and we can always talk in down the comments. All the links and all the links to the books and everything is always in the description. If you want to see my other videos from other channels, also down in the description. So for now, I'm definitely gonna read Babel. It's like a must. I am not reading anything else before I finish reading this one, and I will see you in a future reading vlog. Bye!